Today I have a fun one for you. We're going to talk about the Pentel Tradio, which is a very unique, strange, delightfully quirky fountain pen. And I'm going to show you why. But first of all, since this is actually a new pen that I bought, I thought I'd give you a quick unboxing. So this is the black one, and I have a white one in this box. So it comes in this pretty simple Pentel cardboard box, and looks like that. Pretty standard presentation here. So, like the title says, this pen is priced similarly to something like a Lamy Safari. And I think it actually is a very interesting alternative, but I'm going to tell you why I think this pen is so strange. It's quite a rare pen. I actually didn't even know this pen existed until recently. And it's a very, very strange pen. So let me tell you about why. So first of all, the first thing that I think is strange about this pen is that it's made by Pentel. I don't know what you may think of when you think about Pentel, but when I think of Pentel, I think of things like this. I think of the company that makes arguably the best mechanical pencil mechanism in the world. Their mechanism is found in pencils like this one, but also in a variety of mechanical pencils from other manufacturers. I also think of Pentel as making the Energel ink, which is found in gel pens like this. So fountain pen doesn't really come to mind. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the price point. When I first heard of this pen, I knew that Pentel makes another pen called the Tradio, which is a roller ball, which uses this Pentel Energel ink. And that roller ball can be found for about $2. Sometimes you can even find a 12-pack for $10 to $15 on Amazon. So it's not an expensive pen. And it actually looks very similar to this. So it has the same shape, it has the same name, it has the same ink window. So I thought that this pen was a competitor more to something like the Platinum Preppy, something that was sub $10. The Preppy is around $5 depending on where you get it. I thought since there was a rollerball version that cost $2, the fountain pen was probably a cheaper fountain pen, sub $10, more in line with a Platinum Preppy, Pilot Kakuno type of price range. But surprise, it's $30, which, like I said earlier, is about the same price as a Lamy Safari. When I took a closer look, I did realize that this is actually not the same thing as the $2 rollerball pen, despite sharing the same name and the same design. The fountain pen is a lot nicer, so it has some metal components. It's actually a lot wider than the rollerball, but still, the $30 price point was surprising. The next couple of points I think are really fascinating. So this is made by Pentel, which is a Japanese company. It says Pentel Japan here. I'm not sure if you can see that well on the camera, but it says Pentel Japan. And Japanese fountain pens, if you think of things from Pilot, Platinum, Sailor, they tend to have a lot of proprietary parts. But when you open this one, you realize that it has a German iridium point nib. So German nib on a Japanese fountain pen. Very strange. Then, I think this one has an ink cartridge in it. Let me show you. This is the ink cartridge that it comes in. I'm not sure if that's going to look familiar to anyone, but that is a standard international long cartridge. So it does not use a proprietary ink cartridge, which is very strange for a Japanese pen. And in fact, in this one, I'll show you, I have a standard international converter. I think this is just it's a Waterman converter. So standard international converter. Very strange. So that brings me to the final point, which makes this pen very strange. And that is that when I looked at the product description page, it said that this was a reverse import product to Japan. And I thought, what the heck does that mean? So then I looked closer on the box, and despite saying Pentel Japan on the cap, this pen is indeed made in France. So that kind of explains the European nib and the standard international cartridge and converter setup. But why is a Japanese Pentel pen that says Pentel Japan on it being manufactured in France and then reverse imported into Japan? It very, very strange. So for those reasons, I think it is actually a very quirky, delightful, strange, rare pen. But my favorite part of this pen is actually the way that it writes. So to do that, to show you that, I have some good old Tomoe River paper, and I figured, let me show you what I mean. So this is the Pentel. This is the Tradio. I could only find this pen in a medium nib. I'm not sure if it's available in others. And this is Pilot Blue Black. This pen is such a pleasant pen to write with. I don't know what it is about it. It's smooth with the right amount of feedback. It is a very, very wet writer. And as you might expect from the European nib, it is definitely a Western medium. So it's just a real pleasure to use. And I did want to just compare, just for reference, this is a Pilot Explorer, the Japanese medium, with the same ink. So I just wanted to show you, this is a Japanese medium. So I just wanted to show you that comparison real quick. This is a very wet, very generous medium nib, and a real pleasure to use. So this goes back to the original point, which is this a Lamy Safari Alternative? Well, so this pen, the retail price is $30. Market price is $20 to $30, depending on where you buy it. I do think that if you did not consider the context of it being, having a European nib, being made in France, being reverse imported, it does strike me as expensive. And to show you that, I'm going to bring back this Pilot. I call it an Explorer. This is actually the Lightive, which is the cheapened version of the Explorer. And I wanted to use this pen as a benchmark, because I think that even though this Pentel is priced like a Lamy Safari, what you get is actually much more in line with this Pilot Lightive. This pen retails more for the $15 to $20 range, so significantly less expensive. And if you compare what you get with these two pens, you'll see that they are actually very similar. So in terms of build quality, in terms of materials and build quality, I'd say it is a tie. The Tradio has a cheap injection molded clip. The Pilot has a metal clip, so the Pilot is ahead there, but the Tradio has very nice a metal component here and a very nice capping mechanism, versus the Pilot is just plastic. But I would say overall it's a tie, very similar in size. They're both cartridge converter. They both have very nice nibs, even though one is proprietary and the other is not. But if I'm thinking about value, I would say that the Pentel, compared to something like what what else you can get on the market, I actually think the Pentel is not a tremendously great value. That said, I bought both of these with my own money because I think that the character of the pen, the fact that I'm guessing most of you have never heard of this pen because it's new to me, and the fact that it's so quirky with the parts, the design, how it's made, everything about it is just, it's a very unique offering, and I really do enjoy that. So for those reasons, I personally feel it is a worthy alternative to other $30 pens on the market, like the Lamy Safari, the Twsbi Eco, the Pilot Metropolitan, but objectively, it's not a great value. But this is a delightful pen. Really enjoy using it, and I've had the black one here for over 2 weeks now, and it's seen a lot of use around my desk. So anyway, hope that was fun. Wanted to share one of these new fountain pen discoveries. I feel like it's hard to really find new products in fountain pens. There's always, it seems like it's just a new color, it's a new nib, it's a new ink, but I was very excited to find a pen that I've never heard of before that is such a nice writer, that is not something that will break the bank. So hope that was fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.